Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I woke up and I knew it was winter. My skin was just dry and itchy and red and textured, and I just knew that I needed to do something to go from this dryness to feel more hydrated and look more hydrated. And so I thought, if I'm going through this, then someone out there is probably going through this as well. And so I put together this video with tips and tricks on how to go from dry fall winter skin to dewy fresh summer skin. So if you want to see how I got this dewy highlighted look, then go ahead and keep watching. So when it's super dry outside and you want your foundation or your makeup to look dewy, it's important to start with some great primer. So today I'm actually going to be using two primers. I'm going to be using the NYX Hydratouch to add the hydration back into my face, and the Wet n Wild Photofocus face primer just to brighten everything up. So I just put them both on my hands and I'm mixing it all together. I've never done this before, so it should be very interesting. Ooh, that's a lot. So first I'm just placing it all over my face, and then I'm going to pat it in. So while I wait for that primer to set, I'm going to prep my foundation, and for foundation I'll be using my Wet n Wild in Bronze Beige and these Cover FX drops. And these Cover FX drops are just going to add that brightness into this foundation to make it a little more dewy. So I personally just like to place it on my face with this wand and add the Cover FX drops directly onto my face. So feel free to use whichever one you want. I personally really like to use this white one just to give my foundation a little bit more dewiness. So I'm just going to take it and drop it on the areas that I want to highlight. And I'm just using my L'Oreal Beauty Blender to blend that all. My face gets so dry in the winter, it's ridiculous, so I'll do anything to get that brightness and that moisture just back in. So for concealer today, I'm going to be using the NYX HD Studio Concealer in the shade 1, and this will just really brighten up my face. And I'm putting it in the normal areas that I usually do, and this doesn't dry super fast, so I just apply it all and then blend it in with my Beauty Blender. When I'm trying to look more dewy in the fall, I'm not just going for dewier items, I'm also going for just brighter, happier items, which is why I use this NYX HD Studio Concealer and why I'm going to use this brighter contour stick in Oaks on You by Wet n Wild. And I'm just going to contour in those normal areas. And per usual, I'm going to blend it all together with this Amazon blending brush in upwards motions and then circular motions. If you're dry like me, you know how important it is to set your face as soon as possible. And so today I'm going to quickly set my face with the Mercier setting powder. So the Mercier setting powder is super brightening, but I also want some blurring because my under eyes are so dry. And so I'm going to use this peach blur in hopes that it blurs any of those fine lines under my eyes. I have never noticed this, but this smells like peaches. I've heard everybody say it and I never smelled it, and I can totally smell it now. I don't mind it, but if you do, something to think about. So I know this isn't traditional, but next I'm going to go ahead and set my face with the Studio Max Fix before we contour and bronze up our face. So if my face looks flawless at the end of this, you know that this video worked because I am so dry right now. It's amazing. I don't think I've ever been this dry. And I know that the second this video is over, I'm going to Walgreens and I'm getting some hydrating masks because this is insanity. Like, I am so dry. It's crazy. Moving on to bronze my face, I'll be using my e.l.f. pressed powder in Almond and my cream shop brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit of warmth back into our face. And something that I didn't mention, but I always start with, is chapstick. So I always put chapstick on before every video. I also put it on every day, but definitely before every video. So I always contoured with my NYX palette, and I never thought I'd find anything else. And then I found this Kat Von D shade and light palette, and I'm obsessed with it. So I'm actually going to be taking this shade right here to contour my face, and I'll be using my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows off camera with my NYX Cake Powder in a dark brown, and I will be right back. So brows are done, and I'm starting to feel more dewy and hydrated already. And I think what will really bring this together are these Cover FX drops. And so I'm going to go ahead and place these all over my face to highlight. And I like to use my beauty blender just to blend out those edges. I'm also working in sections because this dries really fast and I don't want to have spots all over my face, so that's why. So I know that we're super highlighted right now and dewy, but just to give us a little bit more, I'm going to be going in with Becca Moonstone and my Flawless e.l.f. Concealer Brush. And for blush today, I'll be using my e.l.f. blush in Blushing and my Morphe blush brush. I feel like the steps we took in the beginning of this video made us feel more hydrated, and the steps that we're taking now make us look more hydrated and just dewy. So let's go ahead and move on to eyes. To make sure that shadow stays on, we want to set them. And today I'll be using my Kat Von D palette, and I'll be using this light shade right here. I'm using my Naked 2 brush, but feel free to use whichever brush you prefer. So for my transition shade today, I'll be using my MAC Soft Brown and my Morphe blending brush. Feel free to use any brush and shadow that you usually use. And I'm just concentrating that in my outer V and crease. And I'm definitely trying to keep the inner half of the lid bright for our shimmer shade. And I'm blending in circular motions on my outer V and then in windshield wiper motions in my crease. So I kind of just want this look to be a little bit more dramatic. Not too dramatic, just like one more shade of brown. And so a trick that I usually use is I'll go into the palette that I was using to bronze my face or the bronzer that I was using and a shorter blending brush. And I'll just concentrate that a little bit lower than I did the transition shade to give it a little bit more impact. So the trick is to use the shorter brush to build up the amount of color that you want. And once you have that color, you use a smaller, I use a Morphe one, but a smaller blending brush to blend out the edges. So don't worry too much when you're applying with the shorter blending brush what it looks like around the edges, because you can always smooth it out with this blending brush. To add a little bit of color back into my lid, I'm going to be using this MAC shadow in Expensive Pink, and I'm just going to take it on my finger and place it in the areas that I want a little bit more color. So if you feel like you're not getting the color payoff you think you should with your eyeshadow, a great trick is to use any setting spray and just spray that onto your eye and then reapply that shadow. If you do that, I do recommend that you use a flat top brush. I always use a small concealer brush to do it, just because otherwise it'll move that setting spray around. So let's give that a try right now. So I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but in real life, you can definitely tell that this lid is a lot more pigmented than this one right here, simply because I put some setting spray down. Once you're comfortable with that color that you have, take a blending brush and just blend the edges of that shimmer shade. And this will just make everything a little bit more seamless. I love this rose gold shade. I feel like it's just a really subtle, wintry, but like dewy color. It's just so beautiful. It's called Expensive Pink by MAC, and that's it right there. And then just to swatch it for you guys real quick. That is so stunning. I need to use that more often. I don't know why I don't. So for my inner corner and my brow bone, I'll be using MAC Nylon, and it's just a really beautiful shimmery shade. It's that one right there. And it'll just make us look that much more dewy and highlighted. And it's completely up to you how dramatic you want to be. I like to be dramatic with my inner corner. I swear that this blending brush will be your best friend when you're doing your makeup, because I just use it every time just to blend those edges together. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I've been obsessed with the Kat Von D tattoo liner, so I'll be using that to line my lids today. When it is dry as hell outside and you're trying to look dewy and just awake and bright, a great trick is to use a nude liner on your waterline. It'll just open everything right up. I'm using the NYX Wonder Pencil in the shade 1, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to do it off camera. So a really simple way to add some drama to your look is to smoke out your lash line, and an even cooler way to do that is to do kind of a different color. So if this is your first time smoking out your lash line and you're a little nervous, using your bronzer is a great way to go. Today I want to do something a little bit different just to add a little bit more drama to the look, because you guys know I cannot get away from it. I always have to go that extra step that sometimes completely ruins the look, but let's give it a try. So I don't think this is too crazy because I was thinking of doing like purple or blue, but I'm gonna go with this MAC shade called Coppering, and I'm using the smaller end of my Naked 2 brush, and I'm just going to buff that into the lash line. Okay, so it is time for mascara. I'll be using my Benefit Roller Lash per usual to prep my lashes for falsies. And our bottom lashes. And for falsies today, I'll be using my Ardell Glamour Pack in 105, and I will be right back. Okay, so lashes are on, and today I'm just gonna go a little bit crazy. I'm actually gonna use this Lime Crime lipstick in the shade Lady. Let me swatch it for you guys really quickly. It is that shade right there. I was gonna do a vampy lip, but I was like, you know what? We're trying to be dewy and summery, and so I should stick to that and do a bright ass lipstick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. This lipstick smells so good. Like vanilla. I'm definitely using this again in my Christmas video. Okay, let's finish off with some setting spray really quickly. When I woke up today, I felt dry. I felt like I was ready to run to CVS. I felt like there was no help for me. I was just doomed for dryness for the rest of winter. And I now feel kind of hydrated and awake and bright and ready to tackle the day. And you know what? I think I'm gonna leave this makeup on all day and go to CVS tonight. So this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.